Gospel powerhouse. Leandria Johnson is ready to speak her truth, and this time, she's taking aim at one of the most powerful figures in the entertainment world, media mogul Tyler Perry. In a jaw-dropping new twist, the Grammy-winning singer is reportedly preparing to take legal action against Perry, making bold accusations that have everyone asking, what went wrong behind the scenes? Known for her powerhouse vocals and no-nonsense approach, Leandria has been a force in the gospel music world. But this time, it's not about her music or ministry. It's about a brewing legal storm involving none other than Tyler Perry, the billionaire filmmaker, the man behind Medea, and a giant in both Hollywood and the gospel industry. Sources close to Leandria say that she's had enough of the silence, the manipulation, and now she's ready to expose it all. What exactly went down between these two iconic figures? Was it a broken promise? A toxic power dynamic? Or is there something much darker hiding behind the scenes? In this video, we're diving deep into the explosive allegations Leandria Johnson is making against Tyler Perry. From recent interviews to cryptic social media posts, we'll uncover the shocking details that have sent shockwaves through both the gospel and entertainment worlds. Trust us, you won't believe what's been revealed, and we're here to break it all down for you. What triggered Leandria's bold statement? How has Tyler Perry responded, if at all? And what hidden connections are there between the gospel music industry and Hollywood's biggest names? Stay tuned, because this story is far from over. It gets serious and maybe hazardous at this point. This isn't simply gossip, so make sure to watch through to the end. This controversy has the potential to alter our perception of two of the most well-known figures in contemporary Black and gospel entertainment. Let's begin. We must go back years to when their paths first met in order to comprehend why Leandria Johnson is now ready to sue Tyler Perry. At first glance, they appeared to be a wonderful match. Two strong voices throughout Black culture. Both rely on faith as a foundation. Both have a large following and have survived hardship. However, there was something more profound going on beneath the gospel tunes and behind the camera, something that would become a public controversy in the end. Following her victory on Beat Sunday Best in 2010, Leandria Johnson became well known. She wasn't your average gospel performer. She was honest, unvarnished, profoundly anointed, and unafraid to discuss the actual hardships of addiction, sadness, and the demands of ecclesiastical perfection. Even though her genuineness caused discomfort for gospel traditionalists, she soon gained popularity for it. By then, however, Tyler Perry had already established an empire by fusing Hollywood narratives with Christian teachings, leveraging media to attract millions of people while preaching about healing and redemption. Gospel singers are frequently featured in Perry's works, and many people questioned when he would collaborate with Leandria, whose voice could lift the roof of any theater or cathedral. And then, silently, that chance arrived. Industry insiders claimed that between 2016 and 2017, Leandria and Perry discussed her joining him on one of his projects, which could have been a music-driven movie or a stage play in which she would play a significant part. Although the specifics were never made public, rumors circulated in Atlanta and the gospel community that Perry thought Leandria had a lot of promise as a dramatic actress and vocalist. Then there was silence. There will never be another announcement, film, appearance, or reference to the project. Fans wondered what had happened for years. Did the project fail? Has Leandria changed her mind? Or was there a more profound issue that neither of them wanted to discuss at the moment? In recent months, Leandria Johnson started posting cryptic messages on Instagram Live and other social media platforms, discussing how she was being used, how phony platforms only targeted Black women when it was convenient, and how she was silenced by those with wealth and influence. Many initially thought she was talking to the religious community, but she later gave names. Don't let these billionaire platforms fool y'all. Some of the people you look up to ain't nothing but manipulators behind closed doors, reported Leandria in a since-deleted Facebook post. When Leandria Johnson appeared on a low-key, but now viral gospel podcast just weeks ago, what began as industry rumors quickly took a serious turn. I trusted someone I admired, and they turned around and tried to bury me. That post sparked a firestorm, and fan speculation quickly pointed to one name, Tyler Perry. Why? Because of the timing, because of the history, and because of what she said next in a podcast interview that shocked everyone. When the host subtly brought up the subject of church hurt, celebrity manipulation, and so-called gospel gatekeepers during the tearful 90-minute conversation, Leandria paused, let out a deep sigh, and said, "You keep asking me about Tyler Perry. Let me tell you something. I trusted him. That ain't God. I looked up to him and what he did to me." The room fell silent. The host nervously asked her to elaborate, and that's when Leandria made a startling revelation that sent fans and insiders running to confirm her claims. Back in 2016, she had approached Tyler Perry's team about a featured role in a stage production with a gospel theme that was in development. "I sang for them. I cried in front of them. I told them my story." She recalled flying to Atlanta, taking part in a closed-door audition, and even going to casual dinners with Perry's production circle after allegedly being told she would be offered a multi-ID contract that would advance her career both musically and theatrically. They said they were going to make something powerful with it, something about redemption, and it would change how the world saw me, she said. But then things got strange. They said a new stage play was released a year later, allegedly with elements that mirrored her exact life story, she said, adding that she was never formally contracted and that her calls and emails went unanswered. "When I saw the promo, I was sitting in my living room and thought, wait a minute, that's my tale. I am that." Leandrea says she never signed any appearance or licensing agreement and was not paid or given credit for anything she believes was based on her real-life testimony. "What's even more upsetting," she said, "was that scenes in the project that featured substance abuse, a breakdown in her faith, and family estrangement mirrored private moments she had only ever discussed with Perry's team. You can't take advantage of people's suffering in that way, sit across from me, and then go make money off of it without giving me credit or consideration," she remarked. Fans began making connections right away. Leandria never explicitly identified the project, but speculation suggests it was one of Perry's gospel-centered plays or lesser-known, Bet Plus film works at the time. The chronology and subjects also coincide. Leandria has apparently recruited a legal team to investigate her options after remaining silent for years. Insiders claim that she is getting ready to sue for mental pain in addition to unapproved use of her likeness and creative exploitation. According to a person familiar with the matter, Leandria isn't playing around this time. She has voicemails, emails, notes, and receipts. But this is the bit that has the entire business talking. Perry's crew has been utterly silent. No public statement, no denial, nothing, which just serves to fuel the fire and raises one important point. She is tired of being taken advantage of, especially by individuals she once trusted to elevate her. When Leandria Johnson came forward, the response wasn't what you might anticipate, at least not initially. There wasn't an outpouring of support from her fellow gospel musicians, open letters from the Black church community, or celebrities embracing her. Could this be the start of a much larger scandal involving celebrity exploitation in the gospel world? The eerie silence instead spoke louder than words. In the days after her viral podcast appearance, fans took to social media to ask why the industry was so quiet, why gospel artists weren't speaking up, and most terrifying of all, is Tyler Perry too powerful to be challenged? Tyler Perry is more than just a filmmaker. He is a cultural figure with strong connections to the music industry, Hollywood, and the church. Many musicians rely on his favor. He owns studios, finances projects, and hires people. When someone like Leandria, who is unvarnished, uncensored, and already viewed as controversial, speaks up, others are often afraid to follow. "Listen, I believe her," a well-known gospel singer who wished to remain unnamed said to an online journalist. "Many of us do. But getting blackballed is not our goal. You might never receive another invitation, check, or stage if you publicly criticize someone like Tyler. That's simply the reality." Even some of Leandria's former collaborators have stayed silent, avoiding interviews, avoiding social media conversations, or providing evasive responses when questioned about her claims. However, quietly, behind the scenes, some are beginning to rally. James Fortune, a gospel singer, was among the first public figures to subtly show support. Hours after Leandria's interview was released, he shared a mysterious message on Instagram that said, "Speak the truth at all costs. God is on the side of the righteous." She wasn't tagged by him. Although he made no mention of individuals, fans soon made the connection. The Minister of Shade, a popular gospel influencer, shared screenshots of private communications purportedly sent by other gospel musicians who supported Leandria, but acknowledged they were hesitant to voice their opinions in public. Several even disclosed that they had similar encounters with prominent figures in the industry exploiting their testimony or stories for screenplays and productions without giving them credit. The Christian community has also had mixed views. Leandria has received support from several church leaders who have praised her for speaking truth to power. Others, however, have advised her to deal with it in private, a tactic that has long been employed to silence voices in the religious community, particularly those of women. In a Facebook Live, a female preacher from Georgia gave a strong response. To safeguard the kingdom, we always advise women to keep quiet. But what if the kingdom has been hiding something for too long? Leandria is entitled to speak, and if her statements are accurate, she should receive more than a simple apology. The plot gets much more complicated at this point. A new Twitter leak claims that after Leandria's remarks garnered media attention, a big gospel award show discreetly withdrew her invitation to this year's gala. This has made many think that there may be a larger attempt to discredit her before she gets too far, to isolate her. Leandria isn't giving up, though. She transformed this dispute into a movement right away when she said, "You can take my name off your shows. You can unfollow me. You can whisper in your private rooms, but the truth ain't scared of y'all, and I ain't scared either." During a recent Instagram Live, it's not just about one lawsuit, it's about silence, power, and the cost women face when they speak out in the entertainment and gospel sectors. Leandria Johnson has transcended words. So if you thought this was just a passing tirade or a social media moment, you should reconsider. According to reports, she is preparing for a court battle that would have major repercussions for Hollywood, gospel entertainment, and other industries. Reliable sources close to Leandria's team claim that she has hired attorneys who specialize in entertainment law, particularly in matters involving emotional distress, verbal contract violations, and intellectual property theft. This is not a bluff. Based on that alone, she's not only using the internet to complain, she's getting ready to battle. Emails, handwritten notes, and most damning of all, an audio recording of a conversation Leandria allegedly had with a member of Tyler Perry's production team are among the documents, communication records, and dated proof that attorneys are reportedly examining from the time she allegedly met with Perry's team, according to a prominent gospel blogger known for her trustworthy tea. Although the specifics of the recording have not yet been made public, experts think it may include shocking information. According to reports, one of the team members admits that Leandria's narrative and personal hardships were ideal fodder for a new screenplay and talks about how viewers would be moved to tears by her genuine suffering. This type of recording, if confirmed, may completely unravel the case and demonstrate that her likeness and life story were purposefully utilized in a profit-driven effort without acknowledgement or payment. And now that Tyler Perry has remained silent despite his public charity and good actions, the pressure is on. His representatives have not made a single post, denied anything, or issued a statement, and their inaction is stoking rumors. Is there anything more calculated going on behind the scenes? Or is he ignoring it to keep the plot from getting smoldering? According to reports, every attempt by a select media outlets to get in touch with Perry's PR team for comment has been either down or not answered. Not only is that quiet being observed, but it is also being condemned. Accountability is beginning to be demanded by activists, religious leaders, and business insiders. In a stirring post on X, formerly Twitter, gospel advocate and public speaker Tasha Renee said, "Tyler Perry has made a fortune from Christian tales and the suffering of Black women. Where's the accountability now that one of those women is speaking up?" Silence isn't protection, it's complicity. In addition, it's rumored that a prominent civil rights lawyer who previously defended a well-known celebrity in a matter related to Me Too is now advising Leandria's team. The case might quickly become well-known nationwide if this lawyer formally joins. This is the unexpected turn of events. Leandria is suing for more than just herself. She is fighting for every gospel artist, every underutilized talent, and every woman in the industry who has ever been taken advantage of, rejected, or emotionally coerced by individuals in positions of authority. According to her statements on Instagram Live, she remarked, "This ain't just about me," in a tearful live stream. Even though the legal process is just getting started, the battle lines are already being established. It's about a system that takes your testimony, your trauma, and turns it into ticket sales while you're left behind to heal in silence. This could reveal a side of faith-based Hollywood and the gospel industry that many would rather keep hidden if it gets to trial, which all indications point to. Perry's once untouchable kingdom may now be put to the test for the first time in a meaningful way. After years of being hailed as a representation of Christian enterprise and Black brilliance, the narrative is changing, and someone who formerly supported it is now challenging it, not detractors. Leandria Johnson is creating history, not simply making noise. Furthermore, this legal battle may turn into one of the decade's largest scandals in terms of entertainment and spirituality, depending on what transpires next. A more profound and unsettling reality is at the core of this ferocious dispute. Too many artists, particularly women in Black and gospel culture, are all too familiar with it. Publicly, their suffering is frequently applauded, but privately, it is taken advantage of. Leandria Johnson has consistently stood up for those who lack a voice. She has endured storms from which most people would never recover, preached from her suffering, and sung from her scars. However, she is now acting with even greater bravery. By challenging one of the most influential people in Black Hollywood, she is putting her job, reputation, and peace of mind at stake in order to demand responsibility. And it's not just that she's taking on Tyler Perry that makes this moment so revolutionary. It's because she's doing it without the support of a huge public relations campaign. No cleverly written speeches, no media handlers, just vulnerability, the unadulterated truth, and an unyielding belief that someone had to speak up because she had been harmed. This is more than just a legal matter. A cultural reckoning is required. Who gets to tell our stories and who gets compensated when they are sold are the issues at hand. It has to do with the balance of power in the gospel world, a society that conceals injury while frequently preaching healing. A society that punishes truth with exile and rewards silence with opportunity. Leandria Johnson is also not going to keep quiet. This case has already rocked the table, regardless of whether it ever makes it to court. Discussions are taking place. Before agreeing to NDAs, artists are reconsidering. Gospel musicians are reflecting on the past and questioning whether their own testimonies were utilized without giving due credit. Fans are paying closer attention than ever before. Even the most anointed voices can be influenced, but they can also stand up and speak for themselves, if that's what we can take away from this. Despite Leandria's exclusion, the focus has returned, but this time it's on justice rather than a stage. How do you feel about this unexpected development? Are the accusations made against Tyler Perry by Leandria Johnson credible in your opinion? When it comes to utilizing true stories for financial gain, should the gospel industry be held to higher standards? Please share your opinions in the comments section below. Additionally, if you think her voice is credible, remember to like, subscribe, and share this video. And since truth ultimately has a sound, voices like hers should be heard. She's still singing it, Leandria.